So I recently was in the progress of replaying through Persona 4 Golden for the second or maybe third time now, and I've come to the realization that I've really missed interacting with these characters. Like, I really miss these characters. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be sitting in the hot seat where I, yours truly, will sit right here in this mildly uncomfortable chair and scream into a mic for 10 plus minutes. Give or take. For those of you new here, you may not know exactly how this works, and this is probably the first video of this. Details. Either way, let me break it down to you nice and slowly. I bring up a game, give a quick refresher of said game if need be for those of you who didn't do your homework and you know who you are, while proceeding to give my opinions on the topic of the game through an opinionated discussion video in which you, the viewer, can... In terms of Persona games that I personally played based off the above categories of story, characters, and overall gameplay, the chart would look something like this. This, right here, is what we're going to be focusing on today. You paying attention? This. Right here. Not those. This. Disclaimer, we're going to be talking about the characters from all three Persona games. All of the characters, from start to end. So, obvious spoiler warning, obvious. Okay, now that that's cleared up, I'd just like to reiterate what the title has already said, and the reason why I keep checking outside my window for pitchforks and torches, and that is, Persona 4, in my opinion, has the best characters between Personas 3, 4, and 5 easily. Why, you may ask? Well, let me go ahead and get started then. The diversity. Persona characters in and of themselves tend to be a rather diverse cast, with each character catering to their stereotypical archetype to a degree. You've got your silent but cool protag, your comedic relief dumb best friend, your fashionista, their simps, the family business inheritor, the have you even heard of a smile, and, well, you get the point. However, Persona 4 takes this a step further than the other games. Each character in Persona 4 has their own little niche or habit that they can't control, and it really makes that character pop more than the rest simply because it's unique to that character and nobody else has it. For example, we've got Chie's obsession with anything kung fu or martial arts related,
my trial of the dragon!
Along with meat. Kanji's love of cute things while trying to maintain the tough guy shell as well as being completely shameless and oblivious to everything.
God, you bastard!
Busted.
Risei's straightforwardness and love of Yu Narukami.
Senpai.
And Yukiko's oh, sweet child of mine. Run! Everybody run to the hills! These characteristics, albeit minor, contribute heavily to the likeness and individuality of each character and to their interactions as a whole. If you want to make a good cast of characters, whether it be comedy, horror, action, you don't shape the characters to the events that happen around them, but rather if you write the characters in a specific way, give them specific traits, then the events will naturally converge on the characters.
At school, what happened? It seems the girl they were bullying was dead. They said that the girl must have become a spirit that haunted them one by one.
The former requires you to think of situations and force the characters into somewhat unnatural feeling events that can take away any feeling of bond with the characters, because the characters are doing what the writer didn't write the characters as, in turn not what you have grown to learn about them, and this can be very off-putting at times. The game does the latter, however, numerous times throughout the entirety of the story, because just simply putting any combination of these characters and their personalities in a room, a wide variety of events will naturally follow. For example, if you put Teddy, Naoto, and Chie at the beach during a festival, the events that follow will pan out differently than if Yukiko, Risei, and Narukami were at the same beach during the same festival. You should be able to look at Yukiko in a situation and be like, this is something Yukiko would do and the others wouldn't. You should be able to look at Risei in the exact same situation, get something completely different, and be like, yeah, this is exactly how Risei would act and the others wouldn't. If you can't do that, then the chances are that your characters, to a degree, don't have that much diversity and individuality between them. The gameplay. This next one can't really be helped by the other games because it is just simply how the game is, and that is the dungeons themselves. Persona 3 has Tartarus, Persona 5, the palaces in the metaverse, and Persona 4 has the shadow world inside the TV. However, unlike the other Persona games, Persona 4's dungeons comprise mostly of the characters themselves, giving a more in-depth look behind the motives, how they perceive things, and simply who they are overall as people. While exploring the dungeons, the characters end up facing the shadow versions of themselves, which are the main enemies of the dungeon, that much is obvious, but unlike Persona 3's bosses, which are just shadows for the most part, outside of the 3 who shall not be named, and Persona 5's bosses, which are also shadows, but the stereotypical over-the-top villain personality of the people they're trying to take down, Persona 4's shadows force their live counterpart to confront things about themselves that they refuse to admit to. As we all know, the truth hurts, and being shadows, they couldn't give two fucks about how you feel. They just want to let it all out, and they definitely do. Everybody is going through a hardship in one way or another, and one of the charms of this game is it allows you a little slight peek into what's going on behind each person's mind and their personalities and their motives and their feelings, their emotions, allowing more room for understanding exactly how these people feel and what it is to be different, because that's what all these characters are in their own way. They're different, outside of the quote-unquote norm. The slice of life. Persona 4 gave us what neither of the other games have. One thing it has delivered that has allowed it to stand at the pinnacle of character development above the rest. And that one thing is, come on now, say it with me, cross-dressing beauty pageant.
Huh? What's wrong?
No, seriously. This is actually a major reason as to why Persona 4 does a better job at its characters than the other games. On numerous occasions, the crew finds themselves in these unpredictable situations where their characters shine the brightest. During the school festival, for example, Teddy and Yosuke, without their knowledge, enter the girls into a beauty pageant, which comes out of nowhere but yet completely expected of their characters. The girls then get revenge by entering the guys, and now we have one of the best slice-of-life sequences in all of Persona games. On the school trip, they go to a club, which, by the way, a little side note, a little bit of a tangent here, but that is another reason why I like Persona 4, is that it has callbacks to the previous game. Persona 5 doesn't really do that too much outside of like a Teddy Easter egg mascot, but that's really it. Persona 4, on the field trip, you go to the school, you stay in the hotels that they ended up fighting in Persona 3, you go to the club that is in Persona 3. All of these little things I would really appreciate in further Persona games coming up ahead. Anyways, back on topic. On the school trip, they go to a club where they get to hang out, get drunk off the atmosphere, and play the King's game. These are just a couple of the times these events happen. The camping trip, the ski lodge, these aren't just little 5-minute need-to-have things. They're whole sequences that last a long time. You get to see the characters at their brightest for a long period of time. You get the opportunity to fall in love with these characters for a longer period of time. Where does this happen in Persona 3? The trip to Mitsuru's resort? Persona 5, the beach? The amount of these slice-of-life events that happen are significantly less in these games compared to 4. And it's personally one of the biggest gripes I have with Persona 5. Luckily, Persona 5 Strikers remedied that problem to an extent, but that shouldn't be the case. Let me put it a different way. I've been playing through the Persona dancing games recently, and there is one obvious thing that Persona 4 dancing has that the other two Persona games don't. A story. Without going into details, the general summary is Rise is performing in a big comeback concert with fellow idols, and she invites her friends to assist her as dancers in the show. The fact that they can implement the dancing into essentially the lore of the story and it feel 100% natural is a testament to what I have previously stated. Sure, you can chalk it up to the development side of things being the roadblock for P5 and P3 dancing, but even then, assuming that they too got their own story mode, you can't tell me it wouldn't feel somewhat jarring, whether greatly or slightly, to see these characters performing for a concert or something, especially with how dark and serious Persona 3 is. You could take Persona 4 dancing and place it anywhere in Persona 4 and you will see no difference at all. It is absolutely no different than when they performed in a band. Where would you fit the dancing in a Persona 3 or Persona 5 without it feeling out of place? The fact that you even have to think about it proves my point. If you can even find a place, that is. Now, of course, at the end of the day, these are all opinions, so don't take any of this to heart and show up outside my house with a mob of pitchforks and torches. There's no denying the cast of Persona 4, Yu, Chie, Yukiko, Kanji, Teddy, Nanako, all of them. They all have this special aura around them. This sense of comfort, almost, that raises them above the others. This does not mean that either of the other games are bad by any means, nor are their characters. Persona 5 Royal has, and as far as I know, will always be my favorite Persona game. Joker, Queen, Monasimp, Pimp Daddy Sojiro, all fantastic characters. Makoto, or Minato, Mitsuru, Akihiko, and Aigis, who is personally my favorite character in the whole Persona series. All will continue to have a special place in my heart, right alongside them, together. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for this hot take of a video. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, we're obviously not all going to agree with each other, nor do we have to. Each Persona game is different and unique in its own right, and that's what's so great about them. Now, this is just the start of many opinionated discussion videos that are just quick little rants, get them out there, get my opinions out there, get a little discussion topic going. You know, there may be more having to do with other RPGs like Kingdom Hearts, The World Ends With You, Final Fantasy, any of those things. So there may even be some about anime, who knows. But until next time, it's been Vel, I love your faces, and I'm out. Peace.